and because I used to be at a gym, but I moved it home. Anyway, he wanted to go out and try deadlifting. You guys know what deadlifting is? Yeah. All right, just pick up bar and stand straight up. And he'd never lifted in his life, ever, not once. And he's like, Dad, what's your max? I'm like, well, you're not going to get it. Like, you've never done this. You don't know what you're doing. But I told him, his second lift, he picks the bar up, does my max, and added like 5 pounds to it, and then just stares at me as he holds the bar, and then just drops it. And then he took a board, wrote the poundage and the date, and nailed it to a post in my gym. He's like, just in case you ever forget. That's my son. So, anyway, yeah. Anyway, there's my family. All right. There we go. That's all you need to know about me. Oh, I do want to tell you a little bit about my ministries that I got before we get into here. But I am a pastor, so 28 years of pastoring, actually. I've been doing that. Which I know you guys have the same response everyone else does when they see me, and I say that, 28 years. How was somebody that looks so athletic and so cool have that many years behind him? But, yeah.
That means you got married and you started pastoring the same year?
Yeah, I started pastoring a month before I got married. Yeah, yeah. I started at her church, actually, too, the church she grew up in there. So, 97 was a good year for me there. But... So I'm a church planter. I planted a church 17 years ago this month. And that was a church that the Gunkles were part of. Mark and Tracy came. Luke he was probably like 16 or so, I think. He was in high school there and had his two little sisters were part of our church for a little bit. They were only with us for, I'll bet, maybe 2 years or less before they moved up to Alaska, the jerks. There, so plant church. I do a lot of ministry in hard places there. I have a children's ministry and a youth group where all of our kids are coming out of homes with addiction, with violence, abuse, homelessness, poverty of all kinds. One of my teens just became homeless again. I do a lot in that world. So and then another ministry I have, it's for college age students called Generation 81. And what it is, I'm training up college students, Jesus-loving college students, to go into these kinds of places, to go care for the widow and the orphan in their distress, like the kids in the youth group I got there. So those are kind of the ministries that I do, and those will actually inform a lot of how I handle the prophets here today. All right, that's like 8 minutes on me and probably 7.5 minutes more than you needed there, but there we have it. All right, we're going to start working through the story of the prophets. I want to pray, and we'll get rolling on this. Father, first of all, thank you for the gift of your word. Thank you for Isaiah through Malachi and the stories they tell us, the truths they bring out about you, about us, about life, about your gospel. Would you help our hearts be open today? We pray this in your name. Amen. All right, turn in your Bibles to the table of contents. The table of contents, the very, very, very beginning of your Bible. All right, so far you guys have been covering the Old Testament, so you've gone Genesis through Song of Solomon, I'm told. You did Lamentations as a part of this. Okay. Wisdom literature. Okay, it's not technically prophets, but usually gets lumped in because it's Jeremiah. But yeah, okay, that's a good call, that guy. If you want to get super technical, the Hebrew, they consider Samuel and Kings to be prophets, but not Daniel. There. Okay, so if you look at your table of contents, you find the book of Isaiah. What we are going to be covering is Isaiah to Malachi. So Isaiah to the end of the Old Testament. Those are the prophets. If you ever hear the expression like major prophets, minor prophets, major prophets are Isaiah, Jeremiah, and Ezekiel. And the reason we call them majors is because their books are bigger. That's it. They're not necessarily more important than the others. They were important, but they aren't necessarily more important than the others. Anyway, so we can work through that. Now, here's the question, is where should we start? I was thinking about, where do you start? You want to start talking about the prophets? Ooh.
The book of Daniel.
You want to start in the book of Daniel? We're actually going to cover Daniel very little today. I know it's going to bum you out, but you've got Google. It'll help you out. You can find all kinds of stuff on Daniel.
Can we do Daniel? 2 and 3? 2 and 3 and 4? 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 2 and 3 and
What's that?
I think I'm saying that wrong.
Nahum? We won't cover that one much. A little bit. You'll see a little Nahum. But all right, here's how you know, or I'll tell you this. Here's where I would start by telling the story of the book of prophets, or the prophets. I'd go all the way back to the book of Exodus. And that's where we're going to start today. We're going to start in Exodus 6 and Exodus 19 is going to be where we begin here. All right. Can anybody well, maybe you've already turned there, but if you haven't turned there yet, anybody know what happens in Exodus 19? Where they're at? Mount Sinai. Did you guys go over this? The covenant at Sinai. All right. We're going to be pulling that in. We're going to spend this first session here. We're going to spend our time on the covenant at Sinai. The reason being, if you don't understand what happened at Sinai, you won't understand what the prophets are talking about. Like, the prophets have so much to do with Sinai. If Sinai doesn't happen, probably 80% of what's written in the prophets wouldn't have ever been written. You got to get there. So we're going to get into that. I'm here today. All right. So we're going to set the stage. Where were the people of Israel just before Sinai? They were in Egypt. What were they doing in Egypt? They were slaves. For how long? 430 years. All right. So now here's the question I'm going to throw out to you guys here. These guys have been enslaved their entire life. I want you to imagine this. You've been a slave your entire life, up to wherever you're at, age 16 to 25 or whatever it is you guys are in here. You've been a slave your entire life. Anybody older than 25? Are you? Oh, no, you. Okay, here's the crazy. I thought Melody was a student, and I thought Caleb was staff. There, I really did. So, like, when I saw you the first few times, like, oh, I should go meet him, but he's not a student. I'll get around to him. Oh, you guys doubted my knowledge of your names, didn't you? Yeah. Do I need to prove it to you right now? I mean, I could tell you that's Riley, that's Nathan, that's Caleb, that's Quaid, that's Cohen, that's Nathan. Jacob and Rochelle, who doesn't know how to spell her own name. It's not, you didn't spell it right. Yeah. We got Kendall and Jalen and Bridget and Grace and Jeremiah and Gideon and Cameron and Hagen. How'd I do? There we go. Got it. There we go. All right. Thank you. There we go. No, I didn't learn those. Yeah. Bob Cameron. Bob Cam.
That's my whole name. My first name is B, middle name is O, and last name is
Okay. All right.
We'd always call him
Sam Bob. We call him Cam Bob. All right. All right. So here we are. We are Mount Sinai. All right. So now you've been a slave your entire life. Your parents have been enslaved their entire lives. Your grandparents were enslaved their entire lives. Your great-grandparents, your great-greats, your great-great-great-greats, and going back for 430 years, your entire family has been enslaved. So here's the first question I want us to have. What do you suppose life was like as a slave? Not great. What would be not great about it?
no freedom.
No freedom.
They worked hard, and sometimes they even took away some of, like, when Pharaoh said that they're going to, like, make the work even harder for them, and they were on purpose making it hard.
Yeah. It was hard enough as it is, and then they'd come around and make it harder just out of spite. And you had nothing, and you had no recourse. There's nothing you could do about it. You just had to deal with it. What else? What else would be terrible about being a slave?
You worked, and if you didn't, you got killed, and you just worked for food.
Okay.
The food probably wasn't great either.
So what's that?
Food probably wasn't great.
Probably wasn't great. Yeah, I'm guessing they weren't eating steak a lot.
Probably didn't have like a great sense of value.
No sense of value. Yeah, one of the worst things of trauma. One of the worst things of trauma is not what happens to you, or it's not like the circumstances around you. It's what happens inside of you. That's one of the worst parts of trauma. Yeah, right? Spent their whole lives, they were property. They were treated like property, like cattle. So their worth was based on their ability to produce for other people. It had nothing to do with them as persons. It's just like you either produce for us or you're trash. That's it. There's no value in you whatsoever. Dignity. There's no dignity. There's no looking forward to things. What do you look forward to when you're a slave? Right? You guys all have things you're looking forward to. Or probably most of you. You're looking forward to getting married. You're looking forward to a certain career. You're looking forward to a certain adventure. You're looking forward to certain climbing ice waterfalls. You're looking forward to things. What do you look forward to as a slave? Like, oh, hey, wouldn't it be great tomorrow we get to make bricks? And then after that, you know what we get to do? Bricks. We can make bricks.
But if you're a good enough slave, you might be able to carry the brick instead of making
Instead of making,
That's what's to look forward.
you get promoted to first brick carrier. Well, what an honor that is.
Water carriers next on the list.
Okay. Now, God sends Moses to deliver him. Big miraculous, the 10 plagues and the Red Sea parting and all that. They wind up, they get across the Red Sea, and they come to Sinai. Now, here's where we get into the covenant. You're in Exodus chapter 6. Exodus chapter 6. I should turn there myself. Exodus chapter 6. And what we're going to be looking at is the covenant that God makes for them at Sinai, that God makes for them and God makes with them. It's in Exodus chapter 6, verse, somebody read verse 6 for us. Oh, and 7, 6 and 7.
Say therefore to the sons of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will deliver you from their bondage. I will also redeem you with an outstretched arm and with great judgments. Then I will take you for my people, and I will be your God, and you shall know that I am the Lord your God, who brought you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians.
Okay. All right, there is some language that occurs in here, and it's something that happens repeatedly in the Bible. And here's what we're going to do. So you know how down on the lake I took 60 seconds and we meditated for a little bit? We're going to do that at different points in the conversation here today and throughout this week. And so we're going to do this here. There's a statement that is made here, the beginnings of it in Exodus 6, where God says to them, I will be your God, you will be my people. If you want to understand the story of the Bible, you have to understand this phrase. This is one of the most important phrases in all of the Bible. I will be your God, and you will be my people. All right, so here's what I want you to do. We're not going to discuss it out loud yet. I'm going to set a timer for like a minute, and I want you to make as many observations as you can on that statement. All right, I want you to think about that. I will be your God, you will be my people. Well, maybe we'll go 2 minutes. I will be your God, you will be my people. And I want you to just like what stands out to you about that? All right? That makes sense? Okay. I'm setting a timer. All right. Oh, and by the way, I told you this week's going to be devotional in nature. That's one of the ways I do my devotions. I will take a verse of the Bible or a concept or whatever. I'll set a timer, and then I just make as many observations as I can in the time period that I have. I know you guys do spiritual disciplines here. That's one of my favorite spiritual disciplines. Because usually, if I just ask you guys, what does the phrase mean, I will be your God, you will be my people? You probably come up with a good answer. If you wrote down 10 things, I bet you your best answers are in 8 through 10. But we usually stop at 1 or 2. And it's like when you keep going just a little bit deeper, just go a little bit deeper. So I like that. Usually I'll set a timer for 5 minutes when I'm going through it, and just as fast as I can, just as many observations as I can whip out there. All right, but let's start hearing some of those. What stands out to you about that expression, I will be your God, you will be my people? Yeah, Grace. Okay, we got personal relationship. All right. Here we go. We're going to put these around. All right. What else?
I'm not sure if this is right or not, but it kind of felt like dual ownership because he is their God and they are his people.
Dual ownership? Yep, okay.
I was gonna add to that thought of it kind of made me think of the New Testament passage talking about husbands and wives, and it's like both are owned by the other. It's like dual ownership, like marriage.
Okay, we're going to run really far with that concept.
Kind of reminds me of that I hear in it to find value. God is, you are my people, your value is in me.
Okay. Yeah, conveys great value.
Also, you is plural in this verse.
What's that?
You is plural in this verse.
Okay. Why does that stand out to you?
I mean,
Okay. Okay. You is plural?
It shows authority, God claiming authority, but in a loving dynamic, because he's like, I will be your God. No, not only that you will be my people, but like I will be your God. As if there is.
A loving dynamic. Okay. Oh, you should know when I teach, I like hearing from the same people, and then I like hearing from not the same people. Have you guys noticed this yet? I'm guessing it's been every week. There's the same 3 or 4 people that answer every time or often, and that's great. I want you to keep sharing. Those of you that sit quietly and wait your turn, jump in. By the way, I don't have a problem calling people out by name either.
He knows them all.
And I know them all. I just proved I know them all. Yeah. So jump in. You have value to add to this. You really do. And we want to hear from you too. So it's good. And if you jump in voluntarily, then you don't have that awkward moment. Like, he's going to ask me when I don't have something. So jump in when you have something.
So this is synonymous poetry, which is something we learned about last week.
Oh, you got in some of the
I wasn't quite sure.
synonym. Did you guys get into chiasms at all?
Yes.
Did you? Okay. That's a whole nother thing. The prophets are basically in it, like one giant chiasm.
I remember the word, I forgot what it means.
Yeah, and we won't get into that. I almost debated on we're going to break down Hebrew poetry, and because the prophets are chiasms. It's just chiasm after chiasm after chiasm, but we won't get into that. I don't remember what I was going to say. Or somebody read something. But whatever that person said, it was good. Oh, the synonymous poetry thing, yeah. All right. Okay. This right here, this statement, I will be your God, you will be my people. This is wedding language. The way that the Hebrew people would talk about marriage, and when they would propose marriage, and they would enter into marriage, this would be the type of language they would use. I will be your husband, you will be my wife. And the bride would respond, I will be your wife, you will be my husband. Like what is happening in Exodus 6, if you were to visualize it, what it is the God of the universe has just dropped down to one knee and pulled out a ring. He just proposed to Israel. Right? Like this is such a significant thing when you think, like, I want you to picture now who's being proposed to. Tell me this isn't beautiful. These people who have spent their entire lives being treated as property, as cattle. You are only here to make me money, nothing else. You are worthless for anything other than production for my benefit. God comes along, rescues them out of that, and then drops on one knee, looks them square in the eye, and says, I love you. I want you to be mine, and I want to be yours. Right? Can you see how beautiful this would be as a slave? This is where, okay, there's a Hebrew word. Have you guys ever done a Passover Seder? Do you know the word dayenu? Oh, it's a good word.
I've done Passover, but I don't know that word.
All right, there's a good word. Dayenu, it means it would have been enough. It's this thing, like if all he had done was got us out of Egypt, it would have been enough. If all he had done was feed us some manna in the desert, it would have been enough. Like dayenu, it would have been enough. If all God had done was deliver them out of Egypt, dayenu, it would have been enough. But he didn't stop at just delivering them out of Egypt. He turned around and said, you guys are going to be my special people. Like, I'm going to belong to you. You're going to belong to me. And in Exodus 6, this is them, God dropping to his knee, asking, will you marry me? And Exodus 19, let's turn there. Exodus 19, this is the response of the people of Israel. Let's go you look at verse 4 and verse 5. It says, you yourselves have seen what I did to the Egyptians, how I bore you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, therefore, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my covenant, you shall be my treasured possession among all peoples, for all the earth is mine. And you shall be to me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Right? Like if you will do this, he's looking at them saying, I brought you out of Egypt. If you will enter into this covenant with me, and it's optional at this point. They don't have to. He's saying, do you wanna? Do you want to marry me? Do you want to be in a covenant relationship with me? If you do this, I will make you my special people, right? And then in Exodus 19, verse 8, what do you read there? All the people answered together and said, all that the Lord has spoken, we will do. They said, yeah, let's do it. We want to enter into this covenantal relationship with you, God. And then if you keep reading on, you keep rolling through there, what winds up happening is basically it's the wedding. Chapters 19 through 24 of Exodus is they're getting married to God, entering into a covenant relationship. All right, now let me ask you this one here. What is different about a spousal relationship? Is anybody in here married? Nobody's married? Nobody's married. Okay. All right. Nobody's married yet. Some of you will before too long, I'm thinking. Wait, you? Oh, okay. Yeah. No. Yeah. All right, you think about it, like what is different about a spousal relationship from all the other ones? Let's think through that one a little bit. Okay, commitment how?
Stuck with them.
Ball and chain type of commitment, can't say.
And women love it when you talk about marriage that way. They do. My wife loves it when I introduce her as the ball and chain. That's really good. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Commitment. Okay, what else? What's different in a spousal relationship from all the other relationships?
It's a covenantal relationship.
Okay.
It's an intimate relationship.
Go run with covenant a little bit.
It's like a covenant, like a promise between you and then your wife, and also like between God too, like to be committed and serve and bless each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. What was over here? Somebody over here.
Oh, I said it's an intimate relationship.
Intimate. There's an intimacy that you have there you don't have with anybody else. 100%. All right, somebody hasn't answered anything yet. What's different about a spousal relationship from all others?
It's supposed to be lifelong.
Lifelong. Yeah. It's the end. Yeah, Cameron. Oh, sorry. Bob Cam. Yeah.
Only one person can be in that relationship with you?
Okay. You're only going to do it with one person? Yeah. Yeah. All right, you think through wedding vows.
I mean, you should only do it with one person.
There we go. Yeah, we get a few problems when you got more than one. But okay, you think through wedding vows. What are the wedding vows you make? You say things like, in sickness and in health, for richer or for poor, in good times and in bad, forsaking all others until death do us part. Right? Like, it doesn't matter what comes next. I'm in. And I'm yours. And you are mine. It's really incredible when you hit these places. Right? And tell me there's a better love story than this one. They were trapped as slaves. God rescues them. Exodus language, takes them out on eagle's wings, or walks them across the Red Sea. Like, he takes them out of Egypt, drops on a knee, says, will you be mine? I want to be yours. And then he seals the covenant with them. Like, this is one of the greatest love stories you'll ever have. I was thinking through, okay, so I'm going to show you a picture here. This is these are my unofficial kids. This is quite a few years ago. The blonde girl on back, she's 16 now. So this is view. The one I'm going to tell you a story about, the ones that's up on top. Her name's Felicity. These kids, and they've got two older siblings that aren't in this picture. Their dad died very, very, very tragically. It was a really, really sad story. What happened? Felicity, the one who's grinning like crazy, she would have been 11 months old when her dad died. She doesn't know him at all. She has no memory of him whatsoever. And my wife and I were privileged to kind of step in with this family and kind of like, they're kind of ours. And I'm not going to say I'm a father to them, but they do say Happy Father's Day to me on Father's Day. Well, one of them does anyway. But like these kids, I spent 1,000,000 hours with these kids. I just adore them. I just absolutely adore them, and they like me too. Here, but one Sunday at church, Felicity would have been like 4 years old, 5 years old at this point. I'm standing there talking to somebody, and this person was just like really going after a story, just really, really talking. And she comes up and she comes and just grabs my hand, and she waits her turn to talk the way 4-year-olds wait to take their turn to talk, and that she didn't. She just jumped in immediately. And I see her. She looks up at me, and she's like, "Jeff, are you mine?" And I wanted to like answer her, but this person just kept talking. And what I wanted is I just wanted to grab her, pick her up, wrap her up in my arms, like, you better believe I'm yours. You know, that's what I wanted to say. But before I could say it, there was just a momentary pause. "Jeff, are you mine?" "Yeah, you're mine." And then she let go of my hand and skipped off, went and played with her friends. Oh, my word. Like, man, melt my heart. I'd have bought her a pony right then if she'd asked me for it. That was one of the, I don't know, that was one of those precious things that's ever happened to me. Exodus, this is God walking up to them, grabbing them by the hand and saying, "Are you mine?" "Yeah, you're mine." And then he walks off. Right? Guys, I hope you, like, this is where when people read the Bible and they're going through, like, because the very next thing is Exodus chapter 20, and you know what Exodus 20 is, one of the most famous sections in all the Bible. It's the 10 Commandments. They think our faith is about the rules, and they'll get a plaque put on the wall with the 10 Commandments, which by the way, the 10 Commandments are pretty doggone great. We love the 10 Commandments. They're great. Our faith is not about the commandments, though. They're a part of our faith, but they're not our faith. Our story, the Christian story, is a God who comes to us in our bondage, delivers us, grabs us by the hand, looks us in the eye and says, "Are you mine?" "Yeah, you're mine." Imagine you're a slave and somebody comes up and does that to you. Right? Like, what would you be feeling in that moment? Have you ever been more loved than you would be in that particular moment? Like, this is our God. This is the way he loves us. And this is like, when you look at the covenant of the Bible, do not make the mistake of thinking this is just a legal transaction of two people who are now obligated to one another. This is a welding of hearts. This is a communion of love. Right? Like that's what our faith is. All right. So now you go through we got our wedding vows. We just went through those, right? In sickness and health, and riches or poor, good times, bad, forsaking all others till death do us part. All right. Now imagine, okay, so, Butch, by the way, you know why you make those vows? You want to know why you enter in a covenantal relationship in a marriage? Because there's going to be lots of reasons to end the relationship as you go along. That's why you enter into a covenant. That's why you can't ever walk into a bank and be like, "Hey, could I have, $300,000? I'd like to buy a house." Like, just give them a handshake. "No, I'll pay you back, I promise." It doesn't work that way. They're like, yeah, "Well, maybe we can loan you the money, but you're signing some paperwork, bud, because there's going to come a point when you don't want to make the payment anymore." And that's like with a marriage covenant. We make the covenants because there's going to come a point when we don't want to keep it anymore. But it's part of the gig, right? And now I want you to picture a marriage where one of the partners fails to keep their end of the covenant. Like, okay, I'll give you this example. So in sickness and health, just by the way, I don't know if you know this or not. I hope this doesn't sound too gloomy. When you get married, at some point, one of you is getting sick. Nobody is, to this date, we have a 100% mortality rate on humans.
Wow.
To date. Now that AI has shown up, maybe that's going to be different.
Elijah and Enoch.
There's always that one guy, isn't there? Yeah. All right. Yeah. But we're going to round off. Round off to still at 100%. 100% mortality rate. My grandpa right now, My grandma and grandpa got married in 1953. They're on 72 years of being married together. My grandma has Alzheimer's now. I'm getting a front row seat to Alzheimer's. I don't know if you've ever been around it or not. Man, I hate it. I hate it. It's like my grandma's still alive, but only kind of. And my grandpa gets to watch her as this woman that he has loved for 7 decades. That's a long time. And they've had a wonderful marriage. He gets to watch as this woman that he's loved for 7 decades become less and less of herself as this just drags on. Now, what would you think of my grandpa if he looked at this as like, yeah, I didn't sign up for this. Peace out. I'm done. And walked and left my grandma alone. What would be the right response on my grandmother's part and on our part as the grandchildren of our grandmother, or the children of my grandmother? What would be the right response from us? Heartbreak. What else? Anger. Why? He broke the vow. He promised. He promised. And now he's in the sickness part of the vow. And it's terrible. It's costly to him. Now, just, my grandpa's not going anywhere. He's one of the greatest men I've ever known in my entire life. And he's been nothing but a saint. And as he's navigated Alzheimer's with my grandma, it's just provided so much love and support for her. But what would you do? Like, you look at it like, you're running out. Okay? You get some marriages, the whole forsaking all others, they don't always honor that. The wife goes and finds a boyfriend, the guy goes and finds a girlfriend. Right? When a spouse has been cheated on, like a man's been cheated on by his wife, a wife's been cheated on by her husband, what is the right response on the party who's been cheated upon? Anger. It's not unrighteous. That is righteous anger.
It even becomes understandable that they want to, in an earthly mindset, if someone walked out of a relationship, nobody really is angry with them, even at that point. You know what I mean? That if somebody is cheated on, and they're you understand where that went, the anger is almost excusable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and not just excusable. I would find it really unhealthy if a spouse could be cheated on and it just didn't bother them. I'd be like, how are you not angry right now? There are certain things righteous people get angry about. And if you're not angry about it, you're not righteous. They're just certain things. And we're going to get into the injustice side of things too, which is a major theme of the prophets here. But now we're talking about the covenantal side of things. When people read through the prophets, one of the questions they get to is, why are they so angry? See if you can guess why. Yes. Because the covenant was made. I will be your God, you will be my people. Do you want to? God offered it to them. And they said, yes. You will be our God, we will be your people. And now the people are like, well, the language of the prophets, they're whoring around.
I think I've been reading through the minor prophets for a couple weeks, and I think that's reading Hosea first, kind of made the whole thing click for me. I'm like, oh, this makes sense, because it kind of paints a strong picture for interpreting at least some of them, just with the imagery there. Just like, hey, Hosea, buddy, go marry a prostitute right now. And then it's like, here's the analogy of, God and Israel.
Have you guys ever read the story of Hosea and Gomer? Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. It's a trip, for sure. God tells us, I want you to go marry a prostitute. Yeah. And not like a former one, a current one. And then there's this, and you can read this whole story. Which, by the way, when you're going to be picking a book you're going to be working on personally, Hosea is one I'm going to throw out as a possible suggestion. If you know the story of Hosea and Gomer, you'll understand what we're talking about here well. It's a good, really good story to have there. Where is it? Okay, here's why, a lot of people look at prophets like, they're so angry. They're so angry. Yeah. And they're like, why are they such angry preachers? I would say that don't think of them as angry preachers. Think of them as covenant messengers. They are there to remind the people of the vows that they have made. I had a buddy of mine, or not a buddy of mine, he was a mentor of mine. He was so important in the formation of my faith. He stepped into my world. I was probably about 10 years old, 11 years old. He became my Sunday school teacher when I was in junior high. And he was just a really important part of my life. And anyway, I grew up, get old, start my own family, all that. And I'm in my 20s at this point. And you know what he decided to do? He started emailing an old girlfriend from high school. And him and his wife weren't in a great place. And this ex-girlfriend was just like talking him up real good, and it felt really nice. And I got word that he was going to jump on a plane and fly to California to go see this ex-girlfriend. And so I went over to his house, and I pleaded with him. I said, please don't go. Don't go. You have a wife and children. Don't go. And he went. His marriage ended. All kinds of terrible things came as a result of that. Because that right there, that's the prophet. That's the prophets. The prophets are stepping in to people who are whoring around, committing adultery, and they're saying, please don't do this. Please don't. Don't violate your covenant. You have a God. He's the one that brought you out of Egypt. He's the one that went to you in your slavery, looked at you in the eye and said, will you be mine? You mine? Yeah, of course you're mine. Like, that's the prophets. And sometimes they're angry about it. Of course they're angry about it. It'd be weird if they weren't. All right, you got your Bible. You can go to Jeremiah 3, or somebody can just read it for us. We're officially turning to the prophets for the very first time. Are you giddy? Did your hair stand up a little bit? It did. When I said Jeremiah, admit it, goosebumps showed up. We're focused on goosebumps at the moment. No, verse 20. Verse 20. You didn't even join me, Rochelle. I was hoping you'd just embrace the goosebump thing with me, but no, okay. All right, verse 20, Jeremiah 3. Somebody who hasn't shared yet. Read verse 20 for us.
Surely as a woman treacherously departs from her lover, so you have dealt treacherously with me, O house of Israel, declares the Lord.
That's the prophets. As a woman who has walked out on her husband, that's what you're doing to me. And this is a major, major, major part of the prophets. Another thing people like to think the prophets are about is about predicting the future. You're prophets, so you're predicting the future. They will do that some. There are some messianic prophecies in there. There are some prophecies about future restoration. There is some of that. And then there's even some prophecies about what's going to happen to nations. There is some of that. That's definitely in there. It's actually not a major theme of the prophets. It really isn't. There's less than 1% of the prophets is stuff that's yet to be fulfilled. Most of it is dealing with other things, and this is a covenant relationship is a big part of it there. Oh, man. Okay, it's 11:20. We're done for the day at 12:30, right? That's the time. Okay. Oh, boy. A whole nother section. Oh, boy. Okay. All right. No, what are we doing? We're gonna hit pause here. And could we take what are we at? 22, 7-minute break? If you hit bathroom or whatever, go get some drink. We'll reset it at 11:30. Is that cool? Did I give you enough time? All right.